Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the brand new 2025 Season 3 of Prime's original show, Invincible, based on the best-selling book series of the same name. Graphic novel comic book series, co-written by Robert Kirkman, both book and show. I love when a creator is capable of writing on their project, because if they decide to change anything, it is their decision, and we cannot complain because it is their project, it's their decision. It's the best way to say that. Now, I did not expect to cry while watching this show, specifically this third season. That last episode, it's got a 9.9 on IMDb right now. It is gut-wrenching. Oh my God. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was happening. I was so, what is going to happen next? This season continued on the theme of change and progression in regards to character development. Gorgeous. Mark Grayson is one of the best literary characters written because he's questioning, does a good person have the capability of becoming bad? Does a bad person have the capability of becoming good? What is that line that you cross? How can somebody be reformed? How can somebody atone? Etc. Right? So Alan and Omni-Man are doing their thing in the Viltrumite prison and then escape. But on Earth, stuff is still happening. Angstrom Levy, voiced by Sterling Brown, who's an incredible, talented human in general, but does a very good villain character because Angstrom Levy was not a villain. He was just a guy who has multiverse powers, and he wanted to, in the second season, bring his other versions of himself together to funnel in everybody's knowledge from all the different universes. That way, cancer can be cured. Poverty can be, eradicated. Hunger can be eradicated. Stuff like that. And then all hell breaks loose, of course. And then he then has the vendetta against Mark, and then he's a villain. So, started out good, turned bad. So can bad turn good? Mark is having problems with that second part. Can bad turn good? Because how can Cecil allow these murderous individuals with superpowers be now guardians? Why? Why would Cecil do that? I can't trust you. Stuff. Because then things happen as the season progresses. Oliver is now, it's been 3 months since the second season, plot-wise. That's what they explained. And Oliver grows exponentially faster because of his Thraxan genetic aspect on his mom's side. So he's now like 10-year-old wonder kid, who just got his powers. So will Mark actually train him? How is that going to work? But all hell is breaking loose. There's a Viltrumite infiltration again. There's a lot of problems then at the end because Angstrom is back from the dead because Mark thought he killed him, but he didn't. So does that make Mark a bad guy because he killed somebody? But Oliver's thing has always been, if you kill the bad guy and we are capable of killing the bad guy, then that stops them from doing bad things. Why are you going to let them keep living? And it gives these beautiful type of conversation pieces where you can have with your friends and family alike. Should bad people continue to be allowed to do bad things if it's harming other individuals? How do you stop them? What's the appropriate means of stopping them? What's too far means of stopping them? Should they be stopped? A lot of wonderful questions in regards to this type. This is a conversation show, and it's very well executed throughout. I love the character dynamic then, changing on pace. Character dynamic then I love with Eve and Mark coming together after Mark and Amber split up. So having the two awesome superheroes together, incredible. Mark then having to figure out what the hell to do when different versions of himself come from different multiverses. 18 versions of himself come from different multiverses, thanks to Angstrom. Destroy the planet, pretty much. Different cities are just obliterated. What happens with cleanup aspects after that? What happens with cleanup aspects after another Viltrumite fight? What happens when both Eve and Mark are brought to the brink of death? Oh, stuff. Character development with Oliver throughout the way. Debbie now dating Richard. I thought that was really cute. I cried the most with Rex's passing at the end, specifically because I didn't expect it. He was another character who was just so full of himself and absolutely narcissistic and awful. But he tried. This season, he kept trying. He tried to do better. He tried to be better. He wanted to be better to then date. He wanted to be better for himself. He even relayed that he actually has a last name, that his last name isn't actually Rex Splode. It's Sloan, or whatever it was. Strone, something like that. Rudy then taking up the moniker of Rex after he himself Robot decided to clone Rex without his knowledge, creating Rudy's body, and then Rudy then deciding, after helping Monster Girl as well, to take on the moniker of Rex in memoriam, but also he has learned he can do better. We can do better. It was just so hard to watch this season ending because there was so much loss. But as our wonderful representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez has once said, sometimes things have to get worse before they get better. And I hold true to that statement ever since she said that. Half a year ago? 8 months ago? I don't remember when. But this ending was a prime example of that because things are awful, worse. How do we get better? Is the goal of this show to defeat the Viltrumites? And if so, how long does it take to defeat the Viltrumites? How many more beatings can Earth take before the Viltrumites are beaten? What else happens? Is Oliver going to be a teenager then, quote unquote, in the 4th season when that comes out next year? Very excited. So, Invincible Season 3, cried my eyes out. Didn't expect to be as emotional as it actually was. Incredible show. Glorious, bloody, disgusting, horror. Fantastic piece of art. It's art. On to the next review. Mahalo.